Hello students, I hope you are all well. I am Neelutpol Gogoi. Today we are going to study a lesson from your book New Infotech. Lesson number 3, Parts of a Computer. So today we are going to learn about the parts of a computer. We have in this lesson some activities. The first activity is draw a line to match each part to the machine it belongs to. Here you can see a bicycle. So which of the part will belong to the bicycle? This wheel will belong to the bicycle, right? Okay, then we have to connect this wheel to the bicycle. Then for this phone we have to connect this part. This is a mixer grinder, so we have to connect this bowl to this base machine part. And these two are speakers which will be connected to the base tube. So we have connected all the parts of the machine. Like all these machines, a computer also has some parts. So can you tell me what are the parts of a computer? I think you have all seen a computer, right? Okay. A computer has basically 4 parts. A computer has 4 parts. So what are they? First of all, we have a box. Have you seen the box? Okay, we have a box. This is called CPU or Central Processing Unit. Next, we have a monitor. This is like a TV where we can watch the videos or the photos, or what we write is displayed in this monitor. Okay, this is called the monitor. Then we have a mouse. So how does a mouse look like? This is a real mouse. Can you see it? This is a real mouse. So how do you hold the mouse? तुम लोग माउस को कैसे पकड़ोगे? You have to bring these 2 fingers. Okay, hold it like this. Then you have to put these 2 fingers over here. तुम्हें पहले ये 2 उंगली से माउस को पकड़ना है और ये 2 उंगली माउस के ऊपर रखना है. ठीक है? तो माउस में कितना स्विच है, कितना बटन्स है? माउस में ये पहला बटन है, इसको बोलते हैं लेफ्ट माउस बटन और लेफ्ट स्विच. इसको बोलते हैं राइट माउस बटन और राइट स्विच, और ये है माउस व्हील. So there are 3 buttons. There are 3 buttons in a mouse. Okay. This is a keyboard. Have you seen a keyboard? I will show it to you. A real one. This is a keyboard. I think you have all seen a keyboard. Okay. What are these? These are switches. These are switches or keys. The keys, these keys are letter keys and these keys are number keys. Okay. Here are some other keys like backspace, delete, enter, shift, control, alt, caps lock, tab, shift, control, alt, space bar. Okay. These are function keys. We will learn about these keys later on. Let's turn to the next page. Now we can see that the computer has 4 parts. We will learn about those 4 parts in details. I think you can all see in the book, page number 16, that picture is of a monitor. This part of the computer is called a monitor. A monitor looks like a TV set. How does it look like? How does a monitor look like? It looks like a TV set. Okay. There are buttons on the monitor. There are buttons. Have you seen the buttons on the monitor? Here, below the monitor, we can see some buttons. 2 or 3 buttons are there in each monitor. What does those buttons do? We can switch it on or off. Okay, we can switch the monitor on or off using these buttons. We can see pictures and words on the monitor. What can we see in the monitor? What is displayed in the monitor? we can see pictures and words on the monitor. Okay. Next is the keyboard. Another part is called the keyboard. The keyboard is a flat board. I think we have all seen a keyboard. I have shown you a keyboard. This is a flat board. Okay. Why is it called flat? It is not tilted or it is not humped. It is flat. Sepeta. Okay. The keyboard is a flat board. There are many buttons on the keyboard. There are many buttons on the keyboard and they are called keys. So these are the buttons and they are called the keys. I think I have shown you earlier. These are the buttons. Okay. These all are the buttons and they are called the keys. The keys are used to type letters and numbers, and these keys are used to type letters and numbers. Letters means alphabets and numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the numbers. Now we will study about the mouse. This part is called the mouse. So we have shown you earlier. This is called a mouse. It resembles this, right? Okay. There are buttons on the mouse. Okay. There are 3 mouse buttons and they are left mouse button, right mouse button and the wheel. Okay. The mouse rests on the rubber pad. This is the rubber pad. This green color pad, have you seen it? It is a rubber sheet or a rubber pad on which we keep the mouse. Okay. If we keep the mouse over here, then we can move the mouse or we can move the pointer very easily. Next, have you seen this type of box in a computer? I think you have all seen this. This is called the CPU or Central Processing Unit. This part is called the CPU box. The CPU is a chip found inside this box. This is a CPU box and inside this we can find a chip. This type of object we can find inside the CPU, which is called the chip. There are buttons on the CPU box. In the CPU box you can see some buttons. One will be the power on, power off button. One will be the reset or restart button, and some other buttons will be there like for opening the CD or DVD drive. The power cable joins the CPU box to the power supply. So the computer needs electricity, we have seen that, or current. Okay. To get current, this box is connected to the switchboard using cables. I think you have all seen that. You have to plug in the cables and you have to switch on the switch to start the computer first. I think you all know that. The CPU does all the work in a computer. What does the CPU do? The CPU does all the work in a computer. Then what is the job of all the other parts? The other parts helps the CPU to do the work. The other parts help the CPU. So the CPU is called the brain of the computer. Why is it called the brain of the computer? Why is CPU called the brain of the computer? Because the CPU does all the work in a computer and the other parts just helps the CPU to do the work. That is why the CPU is called the brain of the computer. It is like our own brain. What does our brain do? We can think, we can calculate, we can do all these things in our brain, right? And what does our hands and mouth do? If we have a sum 2 plus 2 equal to how much? Then first of all we will see the question through our eyes. That is, our eyes is an input device. We can calculate it in our brain. Then after that we can tell the answer with our mouth or we can write it down, right? So our hands, our mouth and our eyes, they helps our brain to calculate what is 2 plus 2 equal to. Similarly, the CPU also does all those things. So as it resembles the brain, that is why the CPU is called the brain of the computer. क्योंकि CPU हम लोगों के ब्रेन की तरह सब काम या कैलकुलेशन वगैरह सब कुछ करते हैं, इसीलिए सीपीयू को भी ब्रेन ऑफ ए कंप्यूटर बोला जाता है. ठीक है. Monitor, keyboard, mouse and CPU work together. All four parts together form a computer. So what are the four parts of a computer? The four parts of a computer are monitor, keyboard, mouse and CPU. Okay? They work together. All the four parts together form a computer. ये चारों को एक साथ क्या बोलते हैं? कंप्यूटर बोलते हैं. ठीक है. The monitor, keyboard and mouse are joined to the CPU box. We can connect the mouse, the monitor, the keyboard using some cables that goes from the back of the CPU. Okay. So here is another activity. Activity 2. Fill in the missing letters to spell the words. You do this as homework. Here are some boxes which are blank. You have to fill these boxes to make a word. I will do the first for you. The first one. M. This is blank. U. This is blank. And E. So, what can we fill in? M. O. U. S. And E. What will it be? Mouse. Okay. The other parts, you fill it as your homework. Now, what have we learned in this lesson? Here's the summary. A computer has four parts. How many parts are there in a computer? A computer has four parts. So, what are those four parts? CPU, monitor, keyboard, and mouse. We see pictures or words on a monitor. So, what is the use of monitor in a computer? We can see the pictures or words on a monitor. Okay. So, next, we use the keys of a keyboard to type letters and numbers. How do we use the keyboard in a computer? We use the keyboard in a computer. We use the keys of the keyboard to type letters and numbers. The CPU is a chip that is called the brain of the computer. If we are asked which is the brain of the computer, we can tell that the CPU is called the brain of the computer. Why do you call the CPU the brain of the computer? Because the CPU does all the works and the other parts helps the CPU to do those works. That is why the CPU is called the brain of the computer. The mouse has buttons. So, the mouse has buttons. As we have seen earlier, the mouse has buttons. How many buttons are there? There are 3 buttons. First of all, which is the first button? Left mouse button, right mouse button, and the mouse wheel. Next, the monitor, keyboard, CPU, and the mouse work together. So, all these are the parts of the computer and they have to work together. Monitor, keyboard and mouse are joined to the CPU box with cables. So how do you connect the monitor, mouse and keyboard to the CPU box? We connect the monitor, mouse and keyboard to the CPU box using cables, or sometimes it can be wireless like this mouse. This mouse doesn't have wires. किसी माउस में वायर्स नहीं होता है. उन सबको हम Wi-Fi से कनेक्ट करते हैं. Okay? So the exercise we will do it in another video. Hope you all have understood. Thank you.